Good afternoon from Yummy B TV. Wishing you all well today, sending splendid love to you all once again on another glorious day coming from down here, and I'm hoping and praying that your day is going the best it possibly can so far. Now, before I go into the hectic, chaotic, fast-talking, freelancing, furious pace Yummy B stories later on today, I've got a couple of classics coming up. I much preferred being Samson this morning and Samson going into the afternoon session, and you've been asking me for quite some time about a man named Paul Tiernan. So we use this as a part one introductory thing. For those that know and those that don't, Paul appeared on the James English show for the second time in recent times, where he was brave enough to share that powerful story with all the ingredients in there. And if you ever wanted to know about what that life can bring, that's a story that you've got to look at, from the abuse, the trauma, addiction, to being an enforcer, and his part in the fake life that we all agree on in later life, and his part in that, misplaced loyalties, the sadness that goes with it, and nearly paying the ultimate price that he believed at the people that he loved and believed that they loved him. Now, the addiction side of stuff really hit home to me, because I can draw parallels where he said when he used to smoke the white stuff, he used to turn him into a scared little boy. That's what it does to me. It did to me, does to me, since I've been out a few times. It's a real eye-opener, because with his position in the part that he played, and looking at, he's a bit like Tony Argent, and he's got that kind of presence and aura. It's like that in jail. Not many people tested there, believe me. And for him to come out and say that kind of stuff, it's just reminds people to, never be scared to show your real self and the vulnerability side of stuff. Let's get glamorized this life like it was something great or special and all that. This is how his story is ultimately really how it is in the fake life that we talk about so freely on Yummy B TV, which we all agree on now. So I like the addiction bit really hit home, and obviously it's some real eye-watering stuff to his childhood as well with Paul. I know, very, very deep stuff. But again, we learn that being involved in one of the so-called major crime families that ever existed, if that's what they say, for him believing that there was love. And I mean, he's not gone up there and said anything that nobody doesn't know about it, because he did get shot, sadly, and someone did get convicted of it. So, to be brave enough to stand up there and talk about all that, and still talks about forgiveness as well. Wow, there's a deep one in it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it properly. So that bit with them saying, or Paul believing that, Patsy saying that you're grass and this and this and that. I'm of the belief, because I got a lot of knowledge around everyone. We know that by now anyway. Now, he could have said it, Patsy, but I don't believe that he believed it. He didn't believe it. There had to be a reason. So then he would put that. So I think Paul, he's kind of explained. I think that's what he means anyway. So whether it was said, whether it was believed by the person saying it, is a complete different thing. You know what I mean? It borders on justification of some kind. So what were the other bits that we don't know of, or that other people might have their own insight into? We can't comment on that, but it shows you the ultimate price of believing that you're in safe hands and sharing so much love, and for over a long period of time, and for that you don't believe that it can happen to you. You think in when you're thinking, especially living such a dangerous life like Paul led, that all kind of things are open to happening to you. You see it in the mafia films where they want to get rid of people, and you could have lived with them all your life. But we didn't really think it would be as deep as that down here in London, England, that we find out it possibly can be. And so for him to have suffered that kind of hurt really probably hit home. Would I be more forgiving? I don't know. It's very bit, that shows where he's moved on to now with all that. But I'm looking at a couple of stories, right, from the jail system, but he never got tested that much, if you get what I mean, because the way he comes across, don't trick it, he's just one of those ones. But I know, I'll tell you straight up and down, I believe there's a lot of love for Paul with other sides of the family in question. So I don't think everyone was happy with that happening to him. From what I know, right? Whether the person actually involved in it is going to be, you know what I mean, say sorry and come out and do, which would be the honourable thing to do, in my opinion, right? I say, and I know that there were a lot of people not too happy about that happening to him, all right? So I'm going to get a couple of stories, but if you ain't seen it yet, that story, Paul, so frankly and brutally honest as well. It's mad, isn't it? When you see a man talking so, come on, man, it is the proper thing. And I look at him as a role model in later life because of the clean time where he's at today, and the journey that I'm going on myself now. And hopefully we will be bringing him to Yami B TV, where we will open up and explore more of that life stories. All right, let me get started babbling a little bit, but that's my part one take on Paul Tiernan, but much more to come. All right, so I'll be up in a little while with some classics. And loads of love to you all.